Okay, so let's talk about this. Can the Yankees actually get Luis Castillo without trading Gleyber Torres? I'm of the opinion that it's possible. The first time that they have discussions, apparently the Reds asked for Gleyber Torres to headline the package. That was a hard no from Brian Cashman, and I don't blame him. So he's 24 years old. He's essentially their shortstop of the future now that they've brought back DJ LeMahieu. And unless they plan on trading Luke Voit in a package for Luis Castillo or Kyle Hendricks, in which case they would move DJ to first, Gleyber to second, and bring in a shortstop, I don't really see any other scenario where they move Gleyber Torres. He's got 4 years of control life. He's 41, and again, he's really good. There's still work to be done on the defensive side, obviously. This past year was an anomaly for too many people, but he's the shortstop right now. I mean, that's just the bottom line. So, I can't see them moving him to just bring in a $200 million shortstop when their goal is to lower payroll, these days. So, just don't see that happening either. But my logic here is as such. The possibility of the Reds losing, and it's very likely that they're going to lose at least Trevor Bauer and Sonny Gray. But there's the possibility that they might lose Trevor Bauer, Sonny Gray, and Luis Castillo this offseason. Essentially, their top three starters. I don't even know who's left in the rotation after that. I don't know. I don't know who the hell is in the rotation. De Lorenzen might be, but they're losing their top three guys. That's the bottom line. So it makes sense. It makes sense to me to headline a package with a more pitching-heavy prospect bundle than an offensive prospect bundle. Yes, they do need a shortstop, but if they're losing all three of those pitchers, obviously they're going to get a boatload of capital in return in terms of prospects. But and I would still offer them Miguel Andujar. I would even offer them Aaron Hicks, and offer to pay a little bit of his contract too, if they. And I don't remember who their center fielder is, but I think he has a lot of value. But if they don't, you offer a package with Miguel Andujar, and then you add in a Clark Schmidt or Davy Garcia. Clark Schmidt's to me the guy with the higher upside. Davy Garcia is kind of the one with the more consistent pattern, I think, just the more consistent stuff and whatnot. It's kind of a comparison between Luis Castillo and Kyle Hendricks. Castillo tends to have a better stuff, but Hendricks the more consistent kind of punch in the strike zone guy and the one less likely to probably get hurt. Castillo again's got filthy movement on his ball, and so does Clark Schmidt. It's got like kind of Kerry Wood type movement, and but again he's had Tommy John recently and so on and so forth. But at the very least, Miguel Andujar and Clark. Let's just say Clark Schmidt. I would add Miguel Yajuri. Okay, he's one of the Yankees' top pitching prospects, and he's kind of got good command, and he's kind of made some big strides this offseason, so they're pretty high on him now. And I would add in Luis Gil, or like an Oswald Peraza, who's one of the better pitting prospects, but I'd probably offer Yajuri first. Which can take us up to 4 prospects. 4 top prospects or 3 top prospects and a major league player with a proven bat. That's a pretty hefty prospect package for a Luis Castillo. In my opinion, there is no scenario. I don't trade Gleyber Torres for anybody. It's my opinion, but I just don't do it. Just like Jason Dominguez, I don't put him in a package for anybody either. Those are could be the 2 young cornerstones, and if we can get a Luis Castillo, and again he's generally a number 1 on almost every team in baseball except for a few. He'd be the number 1B here, or the 2 with the Yankees behind Garrett Cole. But if there's a way we can get him without giving up Gleyber Torres, then I would add more prospects, just like the Padres have done. They've given up a lot of depth. They've gotten Blake Snell, Darvish, and Joe Musgrove, and they've given up a lot of prospects, but the best prospect they've given up is their number 3, and they've given up a bunch of depth. So I wouldn't mind going 5 prospects for Luis Castillo, but I don't see a scenario where he's going to get a better package than a Blake Snell did. I just don't. He's not better than Blake Snell. Okay? He's different, but he's not better than him. And Snell's got a Cy Young on his belt, too. So, I would still give him an aggressive package, obviously, because no one's going to get him without it. But we can load up on pitching prospects here, and which are some of our top prospects. Clark Schmidt was our number 2 prospect. Uhuri, I think, is top 5 or top 6. So, and then add some capital to that, and they would get, over 20 years of team control on the cheap. And for Luis Castillo, who has at least 3 years of control. I don't know if he has a 4th-year option like some of these other guys, but he's got at least 3 years of control, and I think that to me would be a more palatable trade. So at the very least, I would offer Andujar and 3 pretty heavy-duty pitching prospects. Uhuri, Schmidt, Luis Gil, and if I needed to add an Oswald Peraza, something like that, I would. The Yankees are more heavily coated on the offensive side than the other pitching side. Okay, and quite honestly, they're not as good as some of these other teams at developing minor league pitching. They're just not. That's one of the areas I think in their farm that they need to really, really make better, because they're just not developing starters like some of these other teams are doing. So, and until they do that, I would give away their top prospects. It's just, on occasion, they're much better at developing relief pitchers than they are starters, and that's something I think they need to fix. But if you have an opportunity to get a Luis Castillo, you jump all over it. If you can do it without giving up Torres, and I think they can based on the packages that some of these other teams have gotten this offseason, I would definitely go back to Cincinnati and try to get this done. And GM would be one of the bigger moves of the offseason, in my opinion. That would be a really, really good move for Cashman. And again, team control for 3 years at the very least, at an affordable contract for a number 1B/2 pit starter. And again, they already have to make 2 corresponding moves to clear up 2 roster spots. So, because they're 2 over the 40-man threshold right now, just to make room for DJ and Gleyber. This is an opportunity to unload 4 spots for 1 guy. And I think all of them are on the 40-man. So, with the exception of maybe Uhuri. Maybe he is, because they're probably protected from Rule 5 draft. But it is possible. I think it is without giving up Gleyber Torres. So that's my view on it. Let me know what you think. If it's possible, who would you give up, why, and so on. And in my next video, I'm going to go over some pitchers that I think they could or should at the very least go after, who are all on affordable team contracts, that I think they can get. It would cost quite a bit in prospect capital and whatnot, but from teams that are that could use an injection of prospect or an infusion of prospect capital. And so let me know what you think of that. Castillo's not on the list because I'm doing this video now, but otherwise he would have been. But since there was kind of a failed movement on a trade with him, I wanted to do an individual video about him and a potential trade of him, because he is, aside from Kyle Kendricks, those 2 are kind of the top guys that should be, the Yankees should be going after. That remains to be seen. So what happens? But I do think the Yankees are still going to bring in a starter and probably a reliever, and maybe a utility player who is a left-handed bat. And if you want to know who I think they should get, watch my MLB free agent predictions video in the description down below, my most recent one. I say it right in there. He's the perfect fit for the Yankees. Perfect fit. So if you want to know who it is, watch that video. And I got a bunch of other videos down below. But be on the lookout for the next one. If it's your first time to the channel, welcome. If you enjoy good baseball content, hit that subscribe button. It's really helpful to the channel's growth, and it lets other people know that it exists. I want this to be the best running channel. The best running channel, the best baseball channel out there. And your support is greatly appreciated. So be on the lookout for the next video. Hit that notification so you don't miss it. And be safe, and I'll talk to you next time.